is citizenry so important in government?
Citizens are the bedrock of state politics. The government is there because the people are there. The government is there as an outcome of the people's expression of how they want to be governed. And that doesn't end with an election. It starts before an election. It's articulated by way of the secret ballot vote, and the citizens continue to monitor, if you like, how those who have been given the tender to govern are executing their responsibilities and duties in response to the needs of the people. So it's an ongoing relationship between the government and the citizen. And by the way, the government officials themselves remain citizens. That's why they are there in the first place. So we need to inform people that unlike in the old days, before colonization, there was no citizens in Namibia. They were subject of particular kings of tribes. And during colonial time, they were subject of a colonial oppressive system. The idea of citizenship is new, and we need to nurture it very, very carefully. We have learned in Africa that citizens were abused by their own leaders. And we are very fortunate to have a constitution, a republic that understands that the centerpiece of peace and stability in Namibia is the presence, acknowledgement, recognition, and the role of an individual citizen.
Doctor, thank you. And is Namibia really such a democratic country as we portray outside in the world?
No, we are not there yet. As a matter of fact, no country is as democratic as it wishes to be. However, in the context of national politics, as we know it, Namibia is way ahead of other nations on the same trajectory. 23 years now, we have come a very, very long way. There are contradictions and paradoxes. There are failures and shortcomings. There are weaknesses. There are also great strengths. In other words, for me, what matters is to learn to name, articulate, and enunciate those things where we are very, very good. We are a role model nation in Africa. There are certain things that have happened here that cannot happen, as far as we know, in other societies. Let's name them so that we can duplicate and emulate them, so that those who are aspiring to be leaders can take lessons and say, we are good at this, and also learn about the weaknesses such that we don't repeat those mistakes any longer.
Doctor, what are the weaknesses that you refer to? Can you elaborate one or two of them?
One of the weaknesses we have is our inability to move beyond the politics of liberation. We are still stuck in the idioms of yesterday and yesteryear about liberation. We are now free. We need to find a new vocabulary, a new grammar to influence the conversations that we have, so that we take the best of us, all of us, into the future. One of our weaknesses is that we are unable to move beyond the politics of independence. The second weakness is that we suffer under the yoke of mediocre leadership. Generally, they are sterling people who are doing absolutely wonderful work, but in the main, we are infected by mediocrity. We do not bring the best of us. We do not give one another enough credit to contribute to the life of the nation. Third weakness is we fear that we have a tendency not to move on. It is too dangerous to recycle the same people over and over. They are very good men and women, but they are tired. There are other people who can bring freshness to the life of the nation, and we're not doing enough of that. Four, our education system is appalling. We have not found a mechanism through which we can train the young people in this nation to be relevant citizens of the country, such that they are meaningful in their communities, they are relevant where they are at peace with themselves, at peace with their neighbors, and at peace with the world, such that Namibia can compete with the rest of the international community. We are still suffering from a very deep psychosis of inferiority complex.
Doctor, last question. Last year with the SWAPO Congress, for the first time ever, a non-Oshibambu senior political party member was voted to as vice president. What can we as Africans, the whole of Africa, learn from that?
What happened with the SWAPO elective congress last November was a huge milestone in African politics. For the first time, as far as we know, a small nation like Namibia demonstrated a very unusual level of maturity in its national politics. Those who are entrusted with the leadership, in our case here, the SWAPO party, came to a point, those who were privileged to sit in that room looked around, looked at the life of the country and said, who amongst us can be given the responsibility to take us forward? They didn't consider tribe, they didn't consider what, they looked at the merit and the caliber of the individuals in that room. And I was humbled to see that articulation, that we are now at a point as Namibians where we can truly say with boldness and pride, Namibia belongs to all who live in it.